Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 34 of the What the Sheep podcast, where we will be discussing and breaking down and just generally kind of freaking out over episode 124 of Critical Role Campaign 2. I'm super excited to get into this one. I am very excited to discuss this episode and see what Alana and all of you guys think about some of the crazy information that was brought up and discussed in this episode. But before we get into all that juiciness, we must begin with their daring escape from the battle last week. Now, what was interesting about this fight for me personally is it was kind of terrifying because, low visibility, there's a blizzard going on, they're all spent, Bo's almost dead, like they are not looking good. And not only, is the visibility terrible, they have no idea if the Tomb Takers are pursuing them. They don't know how close they are. They have no idea. They just got to keep going, which just made tensions high.
Just like so much stress last night, the entire time, to like when they're still trying to get through and then figuring out how Jester's polymorph is going to end, Yasha's wings are going to end, how are they going to like get everything back?
Yeah.
And then just also even not seeing the Tomb Takers, but out of nowhere the Eldritch Blast coming out and like doing the drawback from Otis. That was just like, I was like, oh god, they're still there. Like I thought they might have let them leave or like keep up, but I think they must have like that long-reaching Eldritch Blast, and it was just like, oh my god, this is I think because it was so stressful at the end of last week. I don't know why I thought it was going to be calm at the start.
I know. I was like, they're fine. Like, the fight's over. But then it's like, wait, it's not really over because the Tomb Takers are right there.
They're literally right there, yeah. No, and it was just like, this is bad. But they got away.
They did. Through a clever use of, paratrooping, maybe unsuccessfully. But, it looked cool. Yasha got to, test it out a little bit. But they were rolling, like, pretty poorly. Maybe it was just Laura. Laura's been rolling pretty poorly.
Oh, yeah.
This past episode. Blame the cake.
Blame the cake.
She kept rolling into that fake cake.
Yeah. Now that we know what it is.
Yeah. It's a curse.
Yeah, no, that was super tense. I was really surprised because I was thinking in my head, like, how do they actually get away? Like, they must just have that little bit more distance or like speed than the Tomb Takers. But even then, the Tomb Takers seemingly not needing sleep are just going to catch up with them eventually. So in my head, I was thinking like, just go up, just fly up. That's going to be the safest. But when someone that doesn't sleep and can track you is on your tail, it's just, how do you get a night's sleep from that?
Yeah. One thing that I just remembered that I've seen it pop up a lot on Twitter and in like the Twitch chat and stuff. Is Ford branded by Lucian?
I don't know. Did that come up in the game?
I don't know, because I've seen a lot of talk about it on Twitter. Oh, that's how Lucian's able to track them.
Oh,
when did
maybe
that happen?
like a hex?
Maybe.
I think he might have been. Oh no. That was in the fight. Yeah, he got attacked by Ford. Ford got attacked by Lucian, and he got a brand on his chest. I think that might have been like a hex or something. I don't think that was like a permanent. Oh, I don't know.
I think it was because then someone like linked the Blood Hunter ability. Let me see if I can find it. I know Marisha Raygun on Twitter was talking about it.
Yeah.
Brand of castigation.
Cool.
It's at 6th level they can do this.
Oh god.
Yeah, you always know the direction of the branded creature, and each time the branded creature, and then it takes more damage. So yeah. Right. And it lasts until you dismiss it.
That's not good. Is it visible? Like, can you see it?
I think so. I hope so.
I feel like for a blood hunter, normally they would put that maybe on beasts or monsters, so maybe they don't necessarily have the means or wherewithal to get rid of it. But I feel like Ford, if he's like, taking his shirt off and at
it's
night and
it's
be like, ah,
dispellable. Yeah, right. It says it's
terrible. Okay,
dispellable, so as long as
that's
they
good.
notice it, hopefully they will
Yeah.
deal with it sooner rather than later.
I feel
Because
like too, I wonder if like see invisibility has any effect on it as well, because he was
mm,
doing that and someone else later in the episode was doing that.
yeah.
Just checking things. I'm not jumping ahead.
We
Purposely
never
didn't
jump ahead in this podcast. We've
purposely
never done
didn't
that
say the
before.
name. Um, but yeah, oh, that's not good. I thought it was like a hex sort of thing, but that makes
Mm,
way more sense and is
yeah.
way worse. So
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh my
There,
god.
this episode, like the chase sequence, and then when they caught up with them at the mountain, reminded me of that one episode from Avatar: The Last Airbender, where
Oh,
Azula
with
and
the
her
cave.
gang are chasing down
Yeah.
um, all them, and they never give up. They never let them sleep.
They just need to give Caleb a bath, and then the Tomb Takers won't be
Yeah,
able to catch him.
yeah, that's what it is.
He's
Yep,
shedding everywhere.
they're fine. Oh God,
It's so
it
weird.
is.
That connection doesn't work.
I think it would sooner be Caduceus that shedding.
Yeah, Caduceus
Be the
is
most,
shedding
yeah,
everywhere, and they're
yeah.
following
Oh
him.
God.
Oh god.
Yeah, no, it was great. But then one of the other moments that I brought up before the stream that I thought was cool visually was Bo with her like freaking like 200 movement speed or whatever,
Yeah,
leaping on the ground across the snow. And the way Matt
that's
described it was super cool.
that's
Um,
like damn monks.
gosh, I can't wait to be a high level monk
Oh
if I
my god,
survive.
like yeah, if we'll see. Um, yeah, like in looking at the level ups that they were getting, I was looking at the monk table, like in proper detail for this. I feel like monks get something every single level. Like
Isn't
the
14
past,
like a particularly big one
oh,
for
it
them?
is. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna talk about this
Yeah,
afterwards
yeah.
or at the end. But yeah, she
Yep.
gets Diamond Soul, so she has proficiency on every single saving throw.
What?
Yeah. Proficiency. Yeah. Proficiency in all saving throws, and whenever she makes this. Yeah, but I can't speak today. Whenever she makes a saving throw and fails, she can spend a key point to re-roll it and take the second result. So she has a little bit of Indomitable.
What
Mixed in there.
the?
But seriously, like looking at the monk table, there is something on every level. Like
Jeez.
I know they don't get spells, so like this is where they
Yeah.
get their utility. But some of the stuff they get is like, speak every language, proficiency in every saving throw. It's like, oh my god, guys, calm down.
Goodness gracious. He
Yeah,
is unstoppable. I love it.
yeah. No,
I'm
it's
here.
really cool. Yeah.
But then they managed to
Yeah.
outrun the Tomb Takers and they sought refuge within the mountains.
Yeah.
Thankfully. And they had a brief discussion about, what do they do with the threshold crest. Now I want to know what you think, because there was a big, debate within the party of like, do we
Mm.
keep it? Do we bury it? Do we teleport it away? And it felt kind of split. So what do you think?
Did they? I might have missed it because there was a bit there where like I was doing something and I missed this part of the conversation. But did they try to destroy it? Because I remember Caleb said he was going to pick it up
They
and drop it. Did that
I
actually
don't think
happen?
they
Because I
did
thought that was a
that.
great idea. I was like, yes, smash it.
Yeah, I don't think they
Or were they
tried.
worried that there might have been a magical effect?
Yes, I think so. I remember the first one that they got, they tried like smashing into it, I think, with like Cat's Claw or Cat's Ire. I think Yasha tried smashing it, but nothing worked.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they just like the fact that um oh god, the big guy, the big tomb taker guy. What's
Uh
his name?
Zoran?
Zoran. The fact
Yeah.
that they took so much care to like remove it and catch it and not let it drop on the ground and things like
Mhm.
that makes me think it's super breakable. So
Yeah.
um I think it would have been a good idea to try and break it, just make sure it
Hmm.
doesn't exist anymore, because I think it's good they got rid of it. They teleported away, but where the hell has it gone?
It's true, but my main concern about destroying it is these things seem like they hold a lot of like arcane power.
Yeah,
I'm worried that breaking it is like blowing up like an atom bomb or something, and it just
that would be real bad.
yeah,
Or like
yeah.
crazy teleportation magic, like it like zipped them
Oh,
somewhere.
yeah.
That would have been That would have been bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely think teleporting it away, even though they may not know where it went, if the teleport didn't work, at least it's out of their hair. They don't have to, necessarily worry
Yeah.
about it right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's somewhere in Wrexham or nearby countryside, so
Yeah.
it's far away from the Tomb Takers at least.
Hmm.
Unless they have other members, so
Yeah, that's true.
which I don't think is the case, but yeah.
Oh.
No, yeah, it's good that it's gone. That kind of threat of losing it and then still having to chase down the Tomb Takers is
Hmm.
gone for now. They've got
Yeah.
some time.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think the argument of like keeping it and using it as like a bargaining chip, I don't think
yeah, I don't
that's
think
kind of gonna work because
I think it was Jester was 100% on the money, saying like, yeah, and then they would threaten to kill Yasha,
yeah,
and we would just give it back. Like,
yeah,
yeah, of course they would. They
hmm
wouldn't let someone die for it. So
yeah.
why
But
put it to
I don't know. I was looking at because when that was being discussed and stuff, I was watching like Ashley's reaction, and she
yeah,
looked as though like she would have been okay to sacrifice herself
yeah,
for that.
but that wouldn't be a sacrifice. I'd be like, all right, we killed Yasha,
Yeah,
get the next
yeah,
one.
that's true.
um,
True.
yeah, it'd be like one more, and then that's it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But I was actually kind of surprised that the tomb. Well, I guess I'm not that surprised that the tomb takers were able to catch up the mountains because it was a full 8 hours of rest that they were able to get. But it's just terrifying that they don't seem to rest. They don't sleep. They just
Yeah,
they just keep
and
going.
then just call avalanches down. But yeah, so they must have, because they were trying to figure out were they tracking them or tracking the beacon, and it was like no, they're tracking them, because they're using the blood to track them, because I don't know. What do you think? Do you think they're tracking the Mighty Nine or tracking the beacon specifically?
Well, if Ford is branded, which I'm pretty sure he is, they were probably going off of the brand. I would
Yeah,
imagine.
yeah.
Um,
I just feel like if they're gonna cause an avalanche, that's just gonna cause more trouble for them having to dig it out.
yeah, that's true. But I feel like Lucien is petty enough to want to just like kill them regardless of like the inconvenience it might
Yeah.
cause them to get the beacon or the crest back.
And maybe, yeah, try to catch them unawares so that they don't fly away, which they did.
Yeah, which of course they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thankfully
It was,
so.
oh yeah, it was such a relief for them to get a long rest and then
I
to really
know.
want
Oh.
to just get out of there, and to know that they were then out of there, like they had made so much more distance. It was still daytime. They knew where they were going. I feel like at that
Mhm.
point that was like a, whew, okay, that feels good. Like
Yeah,
beacon's gone and
exactly.
they got distance between the tomb takers. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, that's exciting. I was
Yeah.
happy with that.
Yeah, definitely. I loved the conversation they had about. Oh, it was really cool when they're theory crafting the those little traps they have. What are they called?
Oh, um,
I had the name of them
okay,
like before the
where did that come
stream,
from?
but now it's suddenly escaping me.
I'm not looking at chat because I was
Like
trying to think.
the unit, the Inuit or Intuit, the
Into it.
Intuit charges. Yeah, I knew it was something like U. There was like a U in there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
judge.
because they
Yeah,
got one of them from like the ruins, but then they got like a handful of them,
yeah.
obviously from Zoran's pack. Those things are. Do we know how much damage exactly they do? They probably mentioned it.
I think
I
it
know.
was.
I know it's pretty.
God, Adam or Lynn probably knows.
Yeah, I know it's pretty fatty.
We know things too, though, Nick.
Yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
know things.
We know our stuff.
Yeah, just people just don't ask us the
We're
right questions.
we're testing you guys. This is for your benefit to make sure you guys know what these are. I know it's
I
pretty
think a lot of
significant.
dice. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man. Yeah, and
Little
radiant damage. That's scary. I gotta see if it's up here anyway. Into it. Charge. Nope. I'm getting a lot of banking stuff. All right. Anyway,
Oh. Well,
they're really cool.
similar.
Yeah.
But it was a little terrifying because and then they read into it more how it was like, well, we can't really. Well, once we set them, they're either set and you can't disarm them, or it's like a mental thing. So ultimately, deciding it's probably safer if we just pray that the Tomb Takers don't arrive in the dead of night and steal their precious threshold crest, which they didn't. Did Jester and Caduceus do a commune that night? I can't remember if they did. I think it might have been the night.
No, the night, the next day, because
Yes,
they had already done their divine interventions that day in the tower.
that's right.
Yeah,
so that's what it was that I was thinking
by the
about.
end of this, they were pretty spent on spells and things like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so they just managed to make it through the night, which was so good.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
One thing, the big thing that I was worried about for this watch was Bo and Caleb potentially having more dreams.
I did not even think of it. Holy. Did not even.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh gosh, like,
yeah.
What if their connection to the Somnovan increases with sleep, because that's how they're able to enter their minds is through their dreams. But thankfully, we didn't get it.
That's how intense last week's episode was. I completely forgot about the eye tattoos on either of them.
Yeah. I did too. Like, I remembered the eye tattoos because I was worried about the dreams, but then I forgot like 10 minutes later and then didn't remember again until they were talking with who later in the episode.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, because then they were talking about whether or not they should show.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So, but that then does tell us that, well, I guess we can't say for sure because they might need like a couple nights of sleep and then the dreams start happening again, or you do have to keep reading more into the book and more stuff will come.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's what it is. Let's have hope.
Yeah, although I think there is still significance in them getting a tattoo in the first place. Like, I'm wondering if they're going to figure out, like, maybe do they need to have all 9 before the powers activate, or do they maybe just have latent power that they haven't figured out yet?
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see how they. I don't know how they would experiment.
They've not really had much time to kind of sit and think about it, really, or like explore it, or whether or not, I think they haven't even had a talk of whether or not they should explore it, like what it means. But I think maybe where they're heading now might be a good place to talk about it.
Yeah, I would hope so.
But yeah,
with like a neutral. Yeah, I think didn't they tell Yusa way early on about this floating city, like right after they left Rumble Cusp? They like brought it up to him and he's like, yeah, sure, I'll look into it. So been a while. Maybe you'll have something.
Poor Yusa.
I know.
He's like been at the center of all their big shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was there when they had the dream kind of sequence thing, learning Tharizdun and Yasha and all that. He was there, like, they're like, hey, we just got back from the island, there's this weird squid monster and also this floating city. Like, he's like this guy that just wants to live in his tower, do some magic, and he's like, these fucking people keep coming back and growing. He's like,
out of
I'm
nowhere.
apolitical, I don't get involved, I worry about myself. And they're like, hey, massive end of world stuff happening, Yusa, can you help us?
Yeah.
Man.
And yes, as Adam is pointing out, as I was about to bring it up again, as well, we didn't get the Boyasha date, didn't get a kiss, but we got a little snuggling. We got a little Bo leaning her head on Yasha's shoulder. Yeah, well, I'll take anything at this point. Any little crumb, any little smidge, I will take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
It's gonna be good.
Definitely. And we never jump ahead. So not jumping ahead, but given the destination that they've wound up in, it's prime date real estate.
Yeah, it's prime not get like ganked in the middle of the night real estate. So
fingers are crossed.
Imagine if they have a date at the lavish chateau.
Oh my gosh. And Marion is like chaperoning it.
Yeah. The only problem is the rest of the Mighty Nine will definitely be there.
Yeah. Or maybe they'll vacate. Maybe they'll make it a whole thing, and they'll vacate the premises. It'll just be Yasha and Bo. A nice candlelit evening.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
We can only
Or
hope.
maybe they get there, they get Yusa, and then they're like, all right, to the next place.
And
it's someplace
we deserve a beach episode. That's what they need right now. They need a
Oh my God.
nice, relaxing
Yeah.
beach episode.
Yeah, them talking to Dagon later in the episode, not jumping ahead, but them talking to Dagon later in the episode, and he said, like, I want to retire in Shamal Bay. I was like, oh, go ahead,
Oh yeah.
please. We need that right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. But I'm super excited for all that stuff. But then also in this evening, night of rest, because Laura keeps wanting to like insight check Beth with her dagger and stuff, because we got another like dagger dropping. That was really funny. The way Sam role played that out.
He said like and I'm not sure if that was like him being truthful, but he's like, I have no idea what this dagger does. I just know I need to keep it. And that sounded like Sam. Like that was like, and I was like, okay, so he's just really playing into it.
Yeah.
What if there is no major kind of like corruption with it? It's just like a dagger that doesn't want to be let go. I hope not. I hope there's like some legitimate corruption.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely we've talked briefly about it before as well, but it definitely feels like it's obviously something malevolent stealing, its Beth's life force to empower it.
Yeah, we still don't know because they haven't had too many short rests recently. Like it's been a lot of like days of travel and then long rest. So we don't know what's going on with her hit dice, if they're restoring, if they're like oof.
Yeah, but again, like they have bigger things to worry about. Some cursed dagger. That's old. That's old news.
Oh my God, yeah.
We can't worry about that right now. We can't.
No. God.
But then I think that was kind of it, at least for my notes for the night, the escape, and they did a little bit of traveling the next day on their way to see a familiar friend.
Yeah. That landscape's really cool. I love the description of the ice spires kind of coming up, and the fact that they're like hidden abodes was really sweet. Like you see a door open in one. Yeah, it's really cool. I love dynasty shit.
Yeah, it's all super cool. And I liked the idea when Matt was describing how like the landscape, it was at some point when they were traveling, it was like tilted, almost like a disc or something had like landed there, and then the whole landscape was just like shifted, which is pretty cool. And then they were surrounded by mountains, so Bo theorized that perhaps this was like a crashing point.
Yeah.
For one of the segments of Aor. It's
like that thing I sent you like a few weeks ago. Do you remember that city?
Oh yeah.
I can't Necropolis. I can't remember what it's from though. If anyone has seen Necropolis, I just got images of that. I don't know. I'll link it maybe. But yeah, that's kind of idea of that disc city stuck into the ground. Super cool. Tom
Rantel in chat just posted a very heartbreaking comment. Forrester and Bo Yasha having a double date at the chateau. Beth at home with her family. Caduceus connecting with Melora at the beach. And Caleb sitting at home at the top of his tower in the torture room.
Oh my God.
That tracks.
He's in Yusa's tower learning new spells.
Yes. Okay. That's what he's doing. He's learning how to polymorph into a dragon, because we all know that Yusa is a gold dragon in disguise.
He's in Yusa's tower talking to Halas and making deals with him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I really think they need to try to talk to Halas. Like, I feel...
Now, sorry. That was a
No. Yeah, no, go ahead.
Matt mentioned that, like, he was saying how he had Halas's body disintegrated, and then he said something like, "Oh, but I forgot about that," and then you return the body to the library. Like, is Halas's body still around? Was that a thing? Was that retconned? He retconned it. Was that on stream though that he retconned it? Because all I remember is the body being disintegrated. I don't remember them saying like they put it back in the room.
Yeah, I'm a bit confused on that too. Matt retconned it. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So the body is still around?
The body is still in like the library.
Okay. Yeah.
Right, but they've got the gem with them. He retconned it live. All right. The mind is still in that gem that that
Gotcha.
Yusa has.
Gotcha.
Okay, well that's even more exciting.
Yeah.
There's even more chances
Yeah.
then.
Well, exciting, but also at the same time terrifying because this is why.
Right.
I really. It just scares me with Caleb because, as I've said before, I'm like leaning like 60-40 that Caleb is gonna go down the dark path. And Halas is a pretty good stepping stone for that if Halas, knows more about the Somnovan and, all that stuff.
And
Oh.
damn later NPC, not mentioning name,
Yeah.
talking about time and like saying
Yeah.
what we
Oh
can do.
my gosh. Like
stop it. No.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's just get into all this stuff because there's so many. It was Essec. There's so many things in that conversation that I want to talk about. So obviously, arriving at the outpost and the introduction of Essec once again was absolutely wonderful. I was smiling ear to ear, getting the description of Essec again.
Look at how smooth he was. Like, I love the way he does his voice. He's just so put together. Not mentally as a character, but like he's so well put together as an NPC. You can tell like it's clearly one of Matt's favorites. Yeah, so good to see him.
So good. And I love Jester immediately running to hug Essec in front of his troops. Doesn't even care. No shame. Super adorable. But the big thing that I want to talk about is the idea of him isolating himself from the dynasty because of, the investigations that are going on, and then also wanting to be isolated from the Empire as well, since he believes that, there's probably assassins after him as well to tie up, loose ends in the sort. Which is sad because I'm worried for Essec's safety now.
That feels like it's a no-win situation for Essec. Like that's something that feels like it will catch up with him eventually, and there's not much they can do. Because how do you hide from two massive global powers like that?
Yeah, you can't. You can't really. But Essec looks so suspicious with all the stuff he does. Like, because I mean, they already suspect him because he mentioned that he's like in the list of like suspects and stuff. I feel like there should not be any other suspects, because Essec is close with the Mighty Nine. The Mighty Nine were involved in, returning the beacon. They're involved in the peace talks. As soon as the whole thing blows over, Essec is like, yeah, I'm gonna just go isolate myself far away from everyone. Oh, and now all of a sudden the Mighty Nine are back. It just all looks doesn't look good for Essec.
I hope it doesn't implicate the Mighty Nine with the dynasty, because that's like kind of like if they can't go back to Jorhaus because they think that they were involved with Essec in the stealing of the beacon in the first place. They would then also have two kind of global powers against them, which is more concerning for me than Essec being in trouble. But yeah, I felt bad for Essec because he seemed like that's described him as having like intense shame. Which fair enough, but like he seems like a pretty regretful character, but just like the amount of stuff they kept piling on top of him.
It was funny. It was kind of funny.
It was pretty funny, but see him essentially have an anxiety attack.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, boy, they just keep
I know.
Like when they mentioned like Vesterogna, and he's like, "What? Like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about?" Yeah, I think it was not the morning Essec was expecting.
Yeah.
But
But then,
we'll watch again.
thinking of his feelings of shame and all of that, and isolating himself up north, do you think that maybe not only was he hiding from assassins and running away from the investigations back at in Jorhas, do you think maybe he was even maybe trying to hide from the Mighty Nine, like maybe isolate himself from the Mighty Nine?
Definitely, because that's like he'd be like, "Ah, they can't come here. Like,
Yeah,
why would they? Why would they
yeah,
come here?"
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely,
Which
100%.
definitely also makes sense in why he brought up like destiny and how like we keep crossing paths, or like you crossed my path for like a reason, or a similar sentiment like that came up in the conversation as well, how their destinies seem to be intertwined now at this
Yeah,
point.
man. Yeah, no, it's so good to see him again. We got some really good information from him, at least in terms of the magic of Isocross. I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
Like he cleared up a lot of teleportation, and the
Hmm.
translocation magic, which has been such a worry. I feel like he made it feel a bit safer, um, or at least like, well, not really, because he did talk about how like getting stuck in things and like super
Yeah.
painful. But in the same sense, it does seem like more doable than it seemed before.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Which is then why they're
it's
pretty
yeah,
quick to want to teleport away once they found that
exactly,
out.
yeah. So that was really good, but him getting nervous and being like, "Oh, what can I add to this fight?"
Hmm.
made me more nervous because it kind of felt like the whole time, like, "Go to Essek and you guys are sweet. Like
Yeah.
you got
I
your
know.
little
I feel like
thing."
we obviously put Essek on a pedestal, but I felt like we also like elevated his power level like way too much, because he's probably now at this point around their level probably.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
So,
no, it's although that's the thing. I saw a really good conversation last night when I was like reading discussions and that. There and it's something that happens to the mind a lot. They get there they they go in without a plan a bit, or a really hasty plan, get absolutely like washed, and then have to flee, and then they feel too scared to attempt again. I
mhm.
feel like the Mighty Nine at full power after a long rest with Essek would have a pretty good chance of taking on the Tomb Takers. The
Yeah.
reason they got so like absolutely destroyed the first fight was they had barely any spell slots left.
Yeah.
They were attacking initially, it wasn't necessarily in combat. Like it was kind of just you and then
Mhm.
you and then you. There was no real structural order, which definitely hurts combat. And like you had Jester and Ford flying away, you had them
Mhm.
coming at different angles. If they had like a legitimate game plan where they focused on taking out the other members of the Tomb Takers first and then focusing on Lucian, they would have a pretty good plan of like they would have a pretty good chance, I think, of taking them out. Because
Yeah.
yeah, I think the Tomb Takers are strong. I don't think they're all as strong as Lucian.
Mhm.
So they could. I think they could. I don't think Matt would
No, I agree. Yeah.
necessarily put them in front of them if it was like just they're going to die. Like,
Mhm.
of course, it was going to be conflict. The chance for them to fight was always going to be there. There had to be at least some chance they could win. So,
Yeah.
um, but now they're kind of they've made the decision to go find other people, and I think Matt will take that into account of the next fight between them.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Um, and the other big thing, a lot of talk of the Luxon beacons were brought up, since that's obviously, Essex's
yeah.
main point of research. But the idea that perhaps even like the Aeorians created,
Mm.
or maybe even just discovered these Luxon beacons is huge. Like if that's actually true, like in either case, if they either were the first ones to discover them, or if they created them as like a failsafe, as what Bo was kind of hinting at. I think it was Bo.
But that's what's exciting because it means it's before the calamity, the Luxon. So
Yeah.
the obviously believe that the Luxon was before time or from the beginning of creation, and it's the light, and then the beacons are parts of the Luxon. But
Mm-hmm.
if Aor were experimenting with it or creating it or whatever, it means it's before the Battle of the Gods, which
Mm-hmm.
is super important, I think, because the Luxon is so dodgy. Like
Yeah.
the idea that
Mm-hmm.
is this entity that can trap souls or can hold souls and redistribute them, like almost like straight up reincarnation. Um, and like old school reincarnation too, because
Yeah.
there's actual reincarnation spells that like do
Mm-hmm.
it instantly, and you maintain the same mind and body and age, or not body. That's the one thing you don't maintain.
Yeah.
The fact that it's like this collection of souls and collection of minds, and yeah, and the comparison they made to like the fact that the Somnovum is this collection of minds,
Yeah.
um, trapped in this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, oh god, like
Yeah. It's
what if
terrifying.
it's all connected? And it just led me to think like, what if the Luxon is another front for Tharizdun? Because I've just got to get that in at least once
Yeah.
an episode. I've
Yep.
got to,
Yep. Tharizdun
Tharizdun is
is connected. He is.
um,
But I
which
mean,
which
the way
no.
different plot points have been suddenly, converging during the story arc, I wouldn't put it past Matt to tie in like the Luxon and the beacons into
Yeah, I
all of
think
this.
the dynasty's been such a big part of this campaign, and I think
Hmm.
it's something that has so fleshed out the fact. I mean, he wrote a whole damn guide on this
Yeah.
campaign set.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I definitely wouldn't be surprised if the Luxon plays a bigger part in understanding the Somnovum or understanding Aor,
But then
understanding the threat.
if okay, let's say the Aorians did create these beacons as sort of a failsafe for if something went wrong. Their souls were going to be safe.
Mm.
Wouldn't that mean there really is no Luxon? Or would that just mean that the Somnovan are the Luxon?
I don't know. Because the Luxon's like you need to go through the ritual first to
Yeah.
even. I don't know. Does it? Because Essec said that it's only consecuted souls that get
Mm-hmm.
taken into the Luxon, but do we know that's the truth? Do we know that like only consecuted souls get taken into the Luxon? What if it's only
Oh.
consecuted souls get like reborn? Um,
Hmm.
it might be like all souls near the Luxon get taken into it.
Maybe.
We haven't had any kind of, well, they're not near a Luxon anymore, and the only person that died near a Luxon was Molly, and they didn't have any kind of resurrection available, so we don't know what kind of the other side was like for him initially.
Oh. Wait, Molly did die. He did die near a Luxon? Yeah, because they
Yeah, they
still
did.
had it. Yeah, they still had it on
Yeah,
them. Oh. So then could that potentially mean that Molly's soul is in that beacon?
I don't know. I don't know.
I hope so. I hope
Well,
so.
they mentioned last night that like Molly might have been consecuted. Like they're like we don't
Yeah.
know. He's been around for ages.
I know
Um,
Adam and Chad was talking about Bo's theory about comparing Lucien's rebirth to consecution, sort of a
mm,
bastardized version of it. Because then the
yeah,
whole conversation about potentially like ripping Lucien's soul out of his body was brought
yeah, I
up,
like that
which is
thought.
super cool, really cool.
And
Because I think even Matt was kind of like interested in that because then he started role playing Essek as like, I mean, maybe it's possible.
I
Huh.
like Essex's response to that though was just like the only way I know
Oh
is like
yeah.
the old fashioned way.
Mm-hmm.
Like yeah. Um my god. Yeah, no, that's but what okay, hypothetical.
Yeah.
What if they managed to get Lucian detached from his body again? They managed to split him and you have the empty body again and it's just like empty again. Like there is
Yeah.
no Molly. It is just another empty vessel. Um what what we still don't know about Molly though is like Lucian was split. So was it just one fragment of his personality made its way back to the body or stayed in the body or because he was buried. He appeared dead and was buried completely.
Yeah.
And then rose from the ground. So at what point did Molly take over?
It's
Did
true.
they someone there? Although there's that theory that what's his face, the circus guy might have
Gustav?
been involved. Gustav could have been involved. He could have like
Oh yeah. Yeah.
done something.
Yeah.
But we don't know enough about that process to know what happened.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think, I mean, maybe I just had forgotten about it, but yeah, we don't even really know how Molly got into Lucien's body in the first place.
Yeah.
Or well, no. I guess because when the ritual failed, like when Vestaragna sabotaged the ritual or whatever, that's when his soul was scattered and just shattered into
Yeah.
a million pieces. What remained was Molly's soul of Lucien, I think.
Yeah. Or maybe it was just a blip, kind of like it was just like a clone of Lucian's personality,
Mm-hmm.
which because he then essentially grew up in a circus became Molly Mock.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that
true.
might do it to you to use in a circus.
Okay, but then okay, so let's say yeah, okay. So yeah, let's say Lucien's soul was scattered and
Yeah.
nothing went back into Lucien's body, but there was something there to cause Molly to rise, and then the personality that came from that was just all new. It wasn't even a part of Lucien
Which is then
before. But then that would be interesting then. Why Lucien obviously still has traits of Molly is that personality, like that soul that formed in Lucien's empty body, still remains.
yeah, that's what's weird to me. That like because then well no, it might not remain because if that is what replaced the soul, when Molly died, the soul was
Mm-hmm.
gone.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
and then
Hmm.
they resurrected. They did a ritual on the body, resurrection, or not resurrection, yeah, resurrection or whatever, raised dead, and it pulled Lucian back in. Like the
Yeah,
willing soul was Lucian. Um, can't wait for the end of campaign questions when
I
like,
know. Oh my
just tell us
gosh.
everything about Molly. Like,
Yeah,
let's
please
see.
just give us the manifesto. Just give us the 800
That's what I'm
page.
saying. Adam's got like, what if they killed Molly, tried to resurrect him, and then like tried to call Molly's soul? They would need like
Yeah.
true, not true resurrection, because can resurrection do it after quite a long time? Because it's been a while.
It has been a
I
little
think
while.
resurrection 100 days, a century. Yeah, so
Oh
resurrection
wow.
is 100 years. Um, but yeah, that's that could
But
be cool.
definitely be on the table. I could 100% see them
Yeah,
trying to do something
and they
like
could
that.
yeah, Jester or Caduceus could do that easy.
Yeah.
Not easy, but like they have the access to the spell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Exactly. Well, it was kind of heartbreaking because we kind of touched on it a little bit how Essec was feeling very shameful and stuff. But then Matt even said that he's not even making eye contact with the rest of the party, specifically towards Caleb. We know that Caleb and Essec are, as someone had pointed out in chat earlier, two sides of the same coin.
yeah,
Um, it's definitely a little heartbreaking when you look at this from Essec's perspective, where he all but gave up on himself. He condemned himself to be a horrible person because of all of the choices he made. But then, the Mighty Nine come around and give him a path towards redemption, and it definitely feels like he doesn't think he's worthy of this, just like Caleb
yeah,
doesn't think that he's worthy of redemption and all that stuff. So it's their dynamic is so poetic. I love it so much.
yeah.
It's so good.
Um, and I think Caleb's smart enough to see that. Like Caleb knows that he is. Well, I don't know. Maybe not because it's like he's so he's so down on himself. Maybe he doesn't recognize the similarities that closely. He does
Yeah.
often talk about how like family will do this to you, and like it's hard, and
Hmm.
you know not meant to be an easy process. So I think he does recognize the fact that he's been through a similar journey.
Mm-hmm.
But whether or not, like, I don't think for Kayla that means, oh, that's an instant forgiveness for Essec, or that's an instant pass for Essec, because it's
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you could be like, oh, they've had a similar experience to me. Like, I get what you're going through. Don't worry about it. I forgive you. But for Caleb, it's like, no, I understand what you're going through, but you still need to like deal with your shit. Like,
Yeah.
we can help you, but you're still responsible for what you've done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's cool. It's really cool.
Yeah.
It's really sad, as always.
I know.
I love when entertainment makes me sad.
Yeah. Essek is just such a wonderfully tragic character. And I feel like the only appropriate conclusion for Essek's story arc is for him to like die
Right?
by like
Yeah.
sacrificing himself.
You're spot on the money. He's like a classic, like literally tragedy, like the genre tragedy. The character is killed by their fatal flaw, or they're killed by their choices. So
Yeah.
he's made his choices. It's just a long run to the end game for him.
Yeah.
The best he can do is to try and redeem himself somehow, but that doesn't often happen for tragic characters.
Yeah.
Often they're just killed by their choices. So that's for the longest time. I felt like Caleb was a tragic character,
Mm.
but he's kind of getting the redemption a bit, maybe, because Essek keeps mentioning time to him.
I know.
I don't know.
But I think
that's going to be the fatal flaw. That's going to kill
yeah.
Caleb. I think like he goes
Oh.
back down that path.
Yeah.
His
Yeah, I know,
kind
because
of
it.
inability to let go. That's going to
What
be
if?
his flaw. He can't let go. He has to try to fix his mistake,
Yeah.
and it's going to destroy everything.
Oh, but I. This is why like I want Caleb to go down that like dark path and to like drink from the goblet of power, just because it would just be so interesting for the story and just to see how it would play out if somehow they started to uncover the ability to alter time, to time travel, rewrite history. Just like the implications that that would have. Like I want to see that. I want to see it.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Yeah. As a DM thinking about it, I'd be like, oh fuck. But like
Yeah.
as a viewer, I'm like, that's super exciting. And I kind of
Yeah.
trust Liam and Matt to make that super exciting and interesting.
Yeah.
And weird.
Yeah.
That's yeah, time travel in D&D is so like
Yeah.
like stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's
I agree. We're on the same board when it comes to Caleb. Of we want him to go dark.
I know. Yeah.
Mainly because I want that kind of big group hug to break him out of it. But like
Yeah.
also because I love the self-loathing a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's good drama.
Yeah.
Very Hamlet.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. A lot of this is feeling very, some of the elements are feeling, very Shakespearean esque
Oh yeah.
nature. That I'm totally here for.
Oh no. Yeah.
Oh no, are they posting sad stuff in chat? I keep trying to catch up.
Garth Murray just said, "Don't let Liam watch WandaVision." I was like, "Yeah."
Uh-oh.
Good reference. I like it.
I can imagine there's some stuff going down.
Yeah, no spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers.
No, my word. But yeah, then we got a ton of information from Essek.
We did.
He I think probably the most exciting. This sounds super nerdy. The most exciting piece of information was how he said how the threshold crests work, how they bring things to a place.
Yes.
But you need to be at the place initially.
And that is huge. That is huge information to have.
Yes. But I saw in chat, and also I saw people talking about it yesterday, like, it's probably not going to be too bad because Kree has, like, likely have plane shift.
Yeah.
So it's another hurdle, but I don't think it's that much of a hurdle. But Kree might never have been to the Astral Sea, maybe not. So they might not have the correct tune.
But then I also wouldn't be surprised if at this main site that they're going to, because they seemed pretty, set on wanting to go to this, Aeor Prime or whatever this was. So there must be some kind of like a gateway or like a tear or something that would allow them to get there.
Because otherwise they would have just gone when they could. So there must be something they need at Aeor Prime.
Mm-hmm.
Have they been there before? Have they mentioned that they've been there before?
To Aeor Prime?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe they have, because that's how they knew about the back entrance.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. But on that note, before we get too far into discussing this, let's take a fan art break and look at some of the fan art choices.
More about Essec,
yes.
look at fan art.
We will of course be talking about. There's still so much that I want to talk about in that conversation. We shall begin with mine, since we've been talking about Essec. Mine is Essec centered piece of art. So as I switch over, this was done by @DrawsMaddie on Twitter, and it's just a cute, wholesome little Essec and Jester picture from when they first came across them.
I love Essec's color in this.
I know, yeah. I was like, ooh, taking like a nice lighter tone to match, the sort of color palette that they have going on here.
It's in the snow, it might make him appear lighter, but like it's so gorgeous. Oh my god.
I know. I've missed Essec. Like, we talked about how much we missed him, but I didn't realize how much I did until like Matt described him coming back. Oh.
Yeah, and it's like with Essec, it's because I do see Essec's a big point of discussion on social medias.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people are very much split on him.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
he's like,
yeah.
Yeah, we love Essec in the sense of he's a great character.
Yes.
I personally don't necessarily think he's the best person.
No, he is objectively not a good person.
Yeah.
Like that's just what it is.
Just a great character to watch, and like I said, I love seeing Matt play him because he gets so I don't know, he's just like, Matt's just so comfortable playing him. It's like him and Artigan, I think Matt just goes for it.
Oh, I have been loving Artigan recently. It seems like I mean, I liked the Traveler before that, but ever since the Rumble Cusp arc ended, I've loved every interaction they've had with Artigan.
Stress free, man. He doesn't have all these followers calling him all the time. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder how long till he gets bored of that though. Yeah.
Hopefully never. Hopefully never. Yeah. Super awesome. @DrawsMaddie on Twitter. Now we can go over and check out Alana's pick. So it's a two-parter. So this was done by @Prideling on Twitter. I think we all know where this is probably going. We have thanks, Caduceus. And then moments later, well, bam. We all saw it coming.
So good.
We all knew this was happening. It was so good.
Freeze frame.
Yeah. Still holding the pose.
Yeah.
Just the dragon coming in.
That was probably one of my favorite moments because I like to that whole fight. It's just like the tail's gonna attack you, and they're like, "Well, would it actually knock her off?" And like, she stood up.
She she specifically said, "I surf on top of the cat's paw."
Yeah, I love it when you say something descriptive like that, and the DM uses it against you.
Yep.
Like, you're surfing the cat's paw.
I am punishing you for adding flavor to your turn.
No, that was really good.
I love it though. My favorite parts of combat are the character, like the very tiny character choices that they make during their turn, like surfing, because then led to this hilarious moment.
No, that's really cool.
Yeah, great art too.
That's absolutely fantastic. The bow itself is like a really good bow. I like the quick transition.
Beep, boop, beep, boop. Yeah, I love it. So good. But more Essec.
Yes, let's keep talking about.
I think the other big thing that Sam brought up that I thought was brilliant was bringing Astrid and Eowulf into this, since Trent is pretty pretty knowledgeable about the stuff that's going on up here, I would imagine, or at least he's knowledgeable about the Luxon beacons and all that stuff. And I would imagine if Trent is somewhat grooming Aodwolf and Astrid to maybe take his place. I know he was mainly focusing on Caleb for that. But if Caleb doesn't work out, he's going to want to have like a fallback plan. So it would make sense if Astrid and Aodwolf are, keen on what's going on as well. And they're not the biggest fans of Trent, so why not bring him into the fold?
I was so nervous when Veth brought that up. And the fact that Caduceus also kind of backed it. Because he's higher wisdom, so this would be like a wisdom thing, less of an intelligence thing, I think, of him to know if that's a good idea or not. The fact that he thinks it's a good idea is like, okay, that's maybe something, but I think it's a bad idea. I think
it probably is. It probably is.
I think it might be their best chance of getting away with Vesterogna's murder, of involving Astrid and Aowen somehow. I think Trent could make that kind of disappear, but I do not like the idea of working with Trent. Like not that that's the plan. I know they kind of want to focus more on Astrid and Aodwolf, but I don't think there's any way they're going to get to Astrid and Aodwolf without Trent being aware, or without Trent getting involved, even from behind the scenes. Like, he took credit for Caleb's like progress. How is he not going to take credit? Yeah, how's he not going to take credit for like doing like helping them in some way there?
But you saying that Trent sort of giving them a way out for Vesterogna's murder and stuff, he would 100% use that as like a way to manipulate them into like a favor 100%. Or something. He'd be like, I can make this Vesterogna disappear if you do this for me, or something along those lines. 100%.
Or it would be, I have taken care of it, now you owe me.
Yeah, he would just do it. Yeah.
That's point, Luna. Have a good point. She says, sorry, that they say, I think Kat is more focused on helping Caleb overcome his trauma, so he's backing the Astrid idea. That's a good point. I think Kat is that kind of, he's a bit tunnel focused with Caleb in terms of, and Liam mentioned that on Talks, which I thought was really good. How he said Caduceus wants to help Caleb, but his idea of helping Caleb is a very simple turn that frown upside down, which I thought was like perfect kind of Caduceus energy. He kind of just wants Caleb to move on, which is not who Caleb is. So I love that idea of the therapist and the patient that just don't work together, but they're stuck together. I don't like the idea. I don't think they should do it. I want them to do it. It's going to be cool.
Yeah.
It's a bad idea. It didn't happen, but I can't wait to see it.
I completely agree. I just want more of like Caleb's arc, as Caleb's my top 3 favorite characters for this campaign, and I feel like we've touched on top 7. I feel like we've only just scratched the surface of the potential for Caleb's story arc.
Sam mentioned that in Talks as well, saying how like they've gotten so close so many times to Caleb's backstory, and they start to move in, and then something comes up. But I think that's been on Caleb a little bit as well, because I feel like he pulls away whenever his backstory comes up.
Yeah.
To the point where if they were going to move forward, it needs to be Caleb that initiates it, and he's not prepared to do that. Also, because I think his backstory is quite endgamey.
Right. Yeah. We kind of talked about that before.
But this searching for allies, I do want to get back to one thing with Caleb and Essec quickly, but this that they're doing now, looking for allies, it feels like the end game. Like, this feels like the prep before the big battle. Even though I know we've talked about how there's so many things they still need to do, I don't know. Like,
this is
they still need to work on. I feel like Stormy Boy just mentioned it, the assembly arc. Like, I want to see an assembly arc, but I don't know how that will fit in after this arc. I feel like it has to happen because it's like open storyline,
Mm-hmm.
but this feels really big. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know whether or not this is like the end of the Chroma Conclave arc, and then they have some loose ends, and then there's another big final
Well,
arc.
that's why
Yeah.
we bring in Tharizdun. Like Tharizdun has to be connected to this
It
because
has to be. There has to be more
that's what
things.
feels like the end game. But I can't remember if it was last podcast or yesterday during my stream where I was talking about how while this arc does feel endgamey, I feel like this is the arc that like kicks off the end game. Like this is the
Yeah.
setup arc that then decides
Yeah.
the direction that the campaign takes for the last
I can see that.
story arc or two.
Yeah.
Because 100% there's going to be an assembly arc. Like the Cerberus assembly is way too big of a plot point to just
They might
gloss
not be if
over.
Caleb dies.
Yeah, yeah.
If Caleb dies, Matt's just like, okay, well there goes that arc.
Oh gosh. Well, no, I feel like if Caleb dies, the Mighty Nine just, you know, out of principle, would just go kill Trent, just because
How weird would it be for someone to die right now and like they're unable to bring them back? I don't think that'd be the case because they got so many like abilities to bring people back, but they just completely mess up the resurrection. How weird would it
Oh
be for like Bo? Like, I'm not saying Bo's gonna die, nor am I suggesting she should, but like imagine just Bo dies and Bo's gone,
yeah,
and then Marusha has a new character for the next episode, just this
yeah.
fresh. It'd be weird.
That
It'd
would
be
be
so
weird.
weird.
That would be weird. That's why, yeah. Which just makes because as KM68 is saying that this arc is very like life or death, is why it's
Yeah.
super intense. Um, they just gotta be way more careful than they have been. They got a taste of their mortality fighting the Tomb Takers. And I don't think that they're going to be making that mistake again. They're going to be a lot more calculated with their approach. Hopefully, again, we say that they're going to be more calculated. They're not going to take as many risks, but we know their track record. We know what they get up to.
Um, but yeah. But anyway, back to Essek and um, their conversation of like one talking about time, like Essek getting excited the way Caleb gets excited of like possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
But then also Caleb kind of taking him in and saying like, look, just breathe, like
Yeah,
take it, it's take time. That kind of came across to me a bit of Caleb was talking a little bit like about maybe grief,
yeah,
but more about like kind of just becoming yourself and taking control again.
yeah,
The fact that Essek is so concerned, that he's so anxious, he's clearly like scared for his life. He went to Isocross to get away because he was scared that he was going to get found out. Um, yeah, Caleb just like, oh, look, I've been there. Like, it's okay. Here's what you do. Um,
mm-hmm.
but still with that stern kind of like, but fix it.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why I love it when Caleb and Essek are in the same room and like are able to have these conversations because they're very similar in a lot of aspects and they see themselves in each other. It gives Caleb saying these things is not only saying them for Essek's benefit, but I feel like he's also speaking to himself when he's saying these things, because he's able to relate to Essek. And if the advice I'm giving you is good for you, then it's going to be good for me as well. Now whether or not Caleb follows up on his own advice is another
He's
thing.
like really good at giving great advice and not following it
Yeah.
himself. Like constantly telling people to forgive themselves and like it's not your fault. Okay, Caleb, listen to that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Um, yeah. God,
But
I think back to his first, not his first speech, but the back in Nicodranus, them talking to Essek and
yeah.
saying like when Essek kind of they put everything on the table and he's like, look, we've all been broken, we've all been there.
Yeah.
Um, you need to make this right, but you need friends to do it, sort of thing. Um, that was him talking from experience,
Yeah.
and I think that was a huge moment for Caleb. But since then, things have been going wrong, really
Yeah.
wrong. Like, uh, it's been
Yep.
no good time for or at the very least, like, I feel like nothing specifically has gone wrong for Caleb, except like they went and met up with Trent and Astrid and Aedwulf again. But at the same time, I think it's just been such a slog. Liam mentioned in talks again how like the only reason he wanted to go to Icecross was to get close to Vesta Rognar or figure out what's going on with the Cerberus Assembly, and that didn't happen. It's that whole idea of not being able to achieve his goals because they're constantly facing this life or death situation. And it's just like, oh god, I get it.
I'm really interested to see how Caleb and Essec's relationship progresses because, as we mentioned before, Essec heavily hinting at wanting to learn more about, time travel and all that stuff just unlocks, a world of possibilities. Which will then also, obviously the rest of the party are going to have their own thoughts and concerns about time travel if it ends up being possible. And I'm not even sure how they would handle it because if there's, a multiverse, then, it's a different story because then, they just jump a different timeline. If there is no multiverse and this is it, then it just completely destroys everything. Depending on what they do.
Oof. I don't want to think about it.
I know.
You gotta think like, how would Matt handle it, and then you try to think like how would Matt handle this, and then you realize, oh, there's no way to know. Like,
there really is no way to know.
With his ideas.
Does for all the lore people out there for Dungeons and Dragons, maybe you might know this. Is there like a multiverse in D&D? I mean, obviously, there's different planes of existence and all that stuff, but is there like multiple like timelines or something akin to that?
I don't think so much timelines. There's just different there's different prime material planes. Generally the up and the lower planes are like the same. And then obviously you can have like, I mean, homebrew worlds are just completely separate, but there's different worlds. So there's like Faerun and there's Greyhawk and they are part of a multiverse, but they're kind of like the prime material plane is one thing, and then the different celestial and lower planes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm not sure in terms of like multiple, like I guess multiverse is like multiple realities, but I'm not sure about multiple timelines.
Gotcha. Okay. That's kind of what I was wondering.
Say like in one reality. No time police.
Okay. Now, that'd be cool. I've had that, like a fanfic theory in my head where like, time travel, like he's able to time travel and like hop through the multiverse and stuff. And, it turns into like a sci-fi fantasy where, he's jumping into the future where, cyberpunk era and, Caleb's just a time cop. Pretty cool. Yeah, Bo and Caleb, the time cops. I guess it would be Caleb and Essec. That would be the time cops.
Very Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. A good poll. I can't wait for season 3 of that show. This is now a Umbrella Academy podcast.
We'll be discussing all the episodes and why Diego is the best character.
Oh my god, I love Diego. I love that. Real quick about the Umbrella Academy. I love the scene. I can't remember which season it was, but when they're at the bowling alley and like the lady confuses Diego and Klaus as Five's dad, or 4. Is it 5 or 4? 4, 5. 5, right? 5. Yeah. I just thought
this
hilarious.
Is not a very good podcast.
Anyways. It was just a cute little part. Anyways, Critical Role, campaign 2, episode 124.
To this podcast.
But and then the fact that Essec wants to distance himself now again from the party sort of then lends to the idea that one of the reasons why he was here in the first place was so he could create that distance from them.
Yeah.
And so now he has to kind of, reevaluate his thoughts on everything. Because now, he just got told that Doomsday is on the horizon. And now
And I feel like he also feels oh, what's the word? Like indebted to the Mighty Nine a little bit, or like he feels like he has to help them.
Yeah.
Whereas before, like, I mean, you think, oh God, it feels. I was about to say you feel like 40 episodes ago, but I don't think it was 40 episodes. Probably like 50, 60 episodes ago, when like they used to feel awkward asking Essec for a lift to
Yeah.
places. Like,
Yeah.
like you're gonna have to pay back one day, and it's like, no, Essec, you're like, you're
Yep.
now owing the money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my
That's a
God.
funny way
Oh
to
my
look
God.
at
This
it.
is going on so long.
Yeah. It's
Um,
crazy. But then, I mean, I don't think
man,
there was
wasn't
really
too
anything
much.
else with Essek.
Probably just little bits of information. Um,
Yeah. Obviously now the dynasty, or well, the Essek and his compatriots are now aware of the Tomb Takers and are going to be on the lookout. At least they have eyes out on the field.
and they've got Dagon now with them helping
Yeah,
out.
that too. Dagon's okay. But
Dagon's
then,
okay.
yeah,
Most
yeah.
important thing.
Yeah, I was so happy when Dagon showed up. I was like, okay, thank goodness. Finally some good news. Dagon is alive. Um, but then some other good news is, yeah, as Adam said, we got Caduceus's divine
Oh yeah,
intervention, his second one.
so cool. That was so cool. Just like, let's go, Wild Mother, let's go, and just like,
Yeah, boom. Yeah, the the
that
reaction
was
to it. Yeah,
great. And man, it was the way Matt described it was like really rough. Like how he's just
yeah.
like careening through space and like
Hmm.
smearing across like his vision smearing across the sky or whatever. Just like, oh my God, the Wild Mother is rough.
Yeah.
Like
Wait a second. I just
what?
love like this was. I don't mean to cut you off. This was like a perfect example of like just like the differences, like even with like the communes as well, like the differences between the way Jester and Artagan are, and Caduceus and the Wild Mother. It's just so funny how like they always do back to back like communes and divine interventions and stuff, and we get to see that like major difference in dynamics. It's just so funny.
Amazing tweet by Kate May Art. Um, she put here, the Wild Mother. I am present in all natural things. I am your mother in your demise. I am the sweetness of berries in the depth of mold in your corpse. My breeze touches your face and convey my endless love. It's got the
Wow.
Traveler. Hey bitch, what's up? Want to sip of my Mai Tai?
Yeah.
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 The relationship between Jester and the Traveler and Caduceus and the Wild Mother is amazing.
Yep. Like I just want like a sitcom of like Jester and the Traveler going on like wild adventures and stuff.
God,
It's so good. Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
No, that divine intervention was great. Them
Yeah.
getting to learn the location was
Mm-hmm.
super helpful. Um, I think yeah, that's the second divine intervention he's had, and he
Yeah.
used it for the same sort of thing, like get information.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of think he could have gotten more out of it, like, but that's what they asked for, so that's what they get. But I feel like
Yeah.
divine intervention, like he could have gotten some stuff. I could have been like, show us where it is and destroy it, maybe. But I think it
Mm.
was better to know where it was rather than destroy it. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, that was good.
Definitely.
Really lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then unfortunately, we got to see Dagon, but then as quickly as he came, the party had to bid him farewell as they decided to depart for a day,
Yeah.
maybe 2 days in Nicodranus to
We don't
recuperate.
know how long they've got because they keep saying like it's gonna take the Tomb Takers like 5 days or something to get to the site. They
Yeah.
keep suggesting that. I think it's based off the map, but they might move faster. They don't necessarily. Well, we don't know yet if the rest of the Tomb Takers need sleep. It's not clear,
Mm-hmm.
but I worry that they could be like, oh yeah, we've got all this time, and then come back, and it's just like
Yeah.
talking about the Happy Fun Ball or like checking like talking to Hala. Oh, I'm not sure if they mentioned about it yet. The Happy Fun Ball. And everyone's just like, no, like you go in there and you come out and the world's gone. Like,
Mm-hmm.
What do we
Yeah.
think for allies? What do you
That's
think?
that's what I was just wondering. You know, now that they're in the safety of Necrodranus and they're able to teleport freely, do you think they might just pull like an Avengers Assemble and just, you know, gather all of the
I feel
powerful allies?
it's literally Endgame.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah. So let's have a chat. So
Yeah.
they've gone to see you.
Yeah. I
Um,
I
how's
don't
the
think
progress?
Yusa will directly involve himself. He'll be more of just like an advisor, I would imagine.
Oh, that sounds mean. I was gonna say I think they need to pull him out of his house, but I think he might like be like mildly agoraphobic or something because we never see him
Mm,
outside of the tower.
yeah,
Um, but I think he needs to get more involved. I think,
me too.
or it needs to be revealed that he's a dragon because then it makes a
Oh,
little
I
bit more sense.
know.
Because then
Oh,
that's him like sticking with his city, which is fine, sure, whatever. But if you're gonna be a dragon, you at least help out a little bit. Um,
yeah. I was thinking about it earlier, where like let's say Yusa teleports back with them to Isocross
yeah,
and stuff, and as they're traversing the landscape, Yusa's just like, oh, I grow tired of all this walking. Just hop on my back, and he just transforms into a freaking ancient gold
and
dragon or
that's
something.
happened exactly that line
Yeah.
and exactly
Yeah.
that
Yep.
situation.
There it is. You heard it here first.
Um,
You heard it here first.
uh,
But
man,
definitely, probably Dyron. I would imagine Dyron could be a potential ally. I would
oh,
hope.
what if for like some really bad fan fiction here, if like Yus is like, I can't go, but I have a friend that might want to help out, and like Jamon Saord comes flying in.
Oh
It's like,
my gosh. That would be something.
that would be cool.
Yeah. I'm worried about Allura because I feel like if they involve Allura, like it would only make sense for then Allura to then contact her most powerful allies, because if this is like some world-ending stuff, Allura's gonna be like, oh shit, let me get Vox Machina on the line. But obviously they
But
want to keep that separate.
we don't know what Vox Machina are up to. That's the thing. Like they
Yeah,
could literally
yeah,
be retired. They could be retired to the point where like, although I don't think they would, but they could be retired to the point where they're not as powerful anymore. Like just because you get to level 20 doesn't mean you stay at level 20, except for Keyleth.
true, yeah,
Keyleth would still be, but she's with her mom. She's relaxing.
yeah.
Um, I
I
think
guess especially with like the martial classes, you know, like Percy is more of a fighter gunslinger and stuff. So it makes sense if his skills slowly went down, but for spellcasters, obviously their power level might decrease, but they would still relatively
like
kick butt.
Hyde would probably still be okay, but at the same
Yeah,
time they could be like off having a family. We don't know.
yeah,
Um,
hmm
uh, Grog would be much older. Like Grog would be like Goliaths don't live as long. Like he'd be
yeah.
getting old man. Um,
Mhm. That's true. Yeah, I didn't really, because when I think of Vox Machina, I obviously think of them back in their prime. But this is 20 years later after
yeah.
all that. So
So yeah, in his 40s. I think Grog was maybe in like his 30s or so, and we don't really know how old he was. I think
mhm.
he was young when Pike met him. But yeah, he's probably like in at least his 30s, his 40s, maybe his 50s. Um,
Hmm.
Vex is she's fine. Keela's fine. She's living for 1,000 years.
Yeah,
Uh,
but maybe I don't know, because wasn't there like a milestone for the Kickstarter for the animated series that they were gonna get like a Vox Machina Mighty Nine crossover or
I think it
something
was
like
going to be like
that?
a battle royale.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
Yes, I think
Yeah,
it's probably
that's what it
non-canon.
was. Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I do remember
Um,
that. But then if it was going to be like in campaign at some point, this would actually be a decent
oh my
point
god.
for it in the story. But I think they are going to keep them separate, 100%.
I still would not be mad. Like of all the kind of fans, like I don't think Critical Role is excellent because I don't think they do fan service. They do fan service for like kind of fun stuff and
Yeah,
silly inconsequential stuff, but they're not the type of show to like the actors aren't the type of people to make big choices because they know the fans are gonna like
Mm-hmm.
love it. It's not fan servicey. They do it
Yeah.
because that's what their characters do. I don't think it would. I think it would be both fan service and in character if Veth decides to stay in Nicodranas and Tarion Darrington joins the party.
Oh my
100%
gosh.
okay with it. I think it would make sense, and I think it would be okay, and I think it would be fucking amazing.
Yeah, because I mean,
So
Tyrion does have connections with Dolan Tversky, right? One of the other members of the Cerberus Assembly. So,
don't get me started. But yeah, my word, yeah, and like, oh yeah, no, 100% I'm on board for
yeah.
Tarion Darrington to join the Nine.
Oh my gosh.
Could
And
you
oh my
imagine?
gosh, now I'm just imagining like how it would be introduced. Like I can imagine it being like the build up. Like you see like this extremely tall, automation, this gold plated automation rolling up with the book clutched in its hand, followed by a very, you know, ostentatiously dressed individual.
I like to think that Tari and Yusa are friends.
Oh my gosh.
I
Like
think at
yeah,
least
like actual like good friends, like they'll just like hang
yeah,
out and like drink like beers together or something.
20 years since Vecna. Like he's had time to like meet and greet some
Yeah.
people. Um
Yeah.
yeah. um Man, no, that would be ridiculous and I love it and I want it to happen.
Yeah.
Think about like Vox Machina when he joined them. Like they were a young group. They were powerful, but they're young people. They were very close knit. They had just had a traumatic experience of a character leaving. No spoilers. And it was like it made sense, I think, for them to like have this type of character join their party. The Mighty Nine are so uh, close knit in the sense of their group dynamic is so closely knitted together.
Mhm.
With Vox Machina, it was a lot of like smaller close knits that came
Yeah.
together as one. Like it was Pike and Grog, and it was like
Mhm.
Vex and Vax, and it was like Percy and Vex, and or like Percy
Yeah.
and Keyleth, and then
Mhm.
they came together as a group. With the Mighty Nine, it's like they are all locked in together.
Yeah.
So to have someone completely new and completely random and as completely daring as
Yeah.
Tarion Darrington to join
Yeah.
the party, it would literally be the Mighty Nine and Tarry. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it really would.
oh my goodness.
I'm here for that.
Yeah.
But what other potential allies do they have? I guess they have Pumat. They have Pumat
Yeah,
they
that's
could go
actually a really good
to.
one. Yeah. Pumat would be
Um,
a really good choice. They haven't seen him in ages.
I know. Do they have anyone else in Jorhas? Essek did mention his brother, Varen,
Yeah.
and then there's
Bazzoxan.
the sky or the star guide, the star something. Well, I guess that was more of like going to be like a liaison or something.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. They've got uh no, that's Vandra? Vandra?
Oh, I
Vandra?
mean,
That's stupid.
I mean,
Um,
maybe. I guess they
yeah,
do have
they've
Villia. People talked about Villia as
got a
well.
ton. Oh, Villia would be excellent, actually.
Hmm.
Villia would be a great one. I don't think she would want to like risk like
Yeah.
leave. Um, the
Mm.
most yeah, people are bringing up the guest PCs.
Oh yeah,
I think
that'd be great.
that makes the most sense. Like
Hmm.
Rini or Shikasta make the most sense. I feel, but in
Yeah.
terms of I think there would have to be NPCs. I don't think they'd be able to get the guests in because of
Oh
COVID.
yeah.
Um,
Because what was cool about the finale for last campaign was they brought in old
yeah,
guest characters like out of nowhere. Even the cast was surprised when
yeah,
they
that
showed
was
up.
awesome. That
So,
was really cool.
but
But
unfortunately,
yeah,
yeah, they probably wouldn't be able to do that
yeah.
because of stuff.
Um, but it doesn't mean the characters can't be
Right.
there.
Yeah.
It's just I think yeah, Rini would probably make the most sense.
Hmm.
But the thing that concerns me at the moment is because they're talking about Yusa and Allura as the main two that they're going to contact.
Yeah.
They're two like massive magic users. I think they need some heavy hitters. I think
Oh
they need
yeah, that's
like
true.
a good melee person to come join them, just because.
Oh,
We shouldn't.
the other adventuring party, maybe Darrow and
Oh, Darrow.
the
The
the something stock, I think they were called
the
the
stubborn stock.
stubborn stock.
The stubborn stock.
Can't
I think it's
remember.
the stubborn stock.
That sounds about right.
Let's see if I can get to the wiki before Lynn does. Stubborn stock. It was the stubborn
The
stock.
stubborn stock. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that choice.
Yeah. I mean, obviously they're not really close with them, but
yeah,
maybe could be a potential
maybe.
ally.
Yeah.
You never know. They are mercenaries, so.
Mm-hmm. And the last we saw, he was in Rexentrum.
Yeah.
So we don't know where they are now, but
Could
yeah, I
we?
like that. That's a good one.
Could we? Okay. Because now I'm trying to think, because obviously this isn't the last story arc. So now I'm wondering, like, how, if this isn't the last story arc, how would then, like, the Cerberus Assembly arc tie into this? So I'm wondering what if they decide that they have to go to the Cerberus Assembly for help, and they do decide to help the party because they realize that this is probably like a world-ending thing, but then Ludinus and maybe some of the other members of the Cerberus Assembly see this as an opportunity to grab more power, and so they try to like overtake or become a part of the Somnovum or try to harness their power or something.
They spent so long not wanting to tell Essec because of his hunger for power, and now we kind of see that he's into it, but at the same time he recognizes the threat of this thing. I think if you went to the Cerberus Assembly and were like, hey, like, I think Ludinus would be like, this is a threat to my power, I'm going to take it out. But I'd see Trent going like, oh shit, this looks cool. Like, like, I think Trent is not stubborn. What's the word? He is narcissistic enough to think that he would be capable of controlling it, or like
he's pretty arrogant.
Arrogant. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Man, yeah, I don't think they should go to Trent. I don't think they should go to Astrid, or if they do, just Astrid. I don't think they should involve Aelwulf. I think she's probably more in line to break away. I don't think he is. Maybe if they can appeal to like the Raven Queen side of him, whatever side that is, they might be able to get him on board. But I think Trent is way too like too deep in those two. Oh man.
I'm trying to think. I don't think there's really any other allies that are coming to mind.
I mean, there's the gentleman, but he's not a fighter. But
maybe
the meat connections.
Yeah, maybe. They do still have their wish or favor from that djinn or that genie or whatever that they rescued.
The Married, yeah.
The Married that they rescued in Nicodranus.
They're in the elemental plane of water. I don't know how they're going to get there.
Neither do I, but they got a favor to call in. They've got a favor.
Yeah, that's something I hope they do eventually, but probably not. I don't see them like suddenly going, "Hey, let's go catch up with the Married."
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe as a one shot.
Yeah, I could see that. Or maybe the favor has already been granted, and it's that Sprinkle never dies. Maybe that's what it is, and that's why Sprinkle is immortal.
Married saw Sprinkle like spluttering. Yeah. He's like, I know what to do.
Yeah, I know exactly what to do here.
That's a cool one though. That's a good callback. Yeah. But probably not. The Planking.
I mean, we saw what happened the last time. The Mighty Nine was given 24 hours with, being in proximity to the Plank King. Even less than 24 hours, like 12 hours.
Even less, yeah. Oh my god. It's like you guys in Port Tamale.
Yeah, that literally that's how it is. Oh yeah, they could get Ukatoa as an ally.
They can't though,
Definitely.
because Lucian has the cloven crystal.
Oh yeah. Oh well. We tried with that one.
Oh, what if no, that's stupid, Alana. I'm like going off tonight. What if like the next time they come across the Tomb Takers, Avantika's with them?
Oh. Yeah. And then Lucian just starts gathering like the Mighty Nine are gathering all of their allies, while Lucian is gathering all of the enemies that the Mighty Nine have
Oh
made.
yes, yes. Sinister Six, like
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Galadon comes back a second time.
Mecha Galadon.
Yeah,
As
the Hag.
This is
Oh
how it all
my
comes
god.
together. All comes together, tied up in a nice bow, with Tharizdun like looming over the entire
Oh
thing.
my god. Is
Hmm.
there any allies we've missed, chat? Can you think of anyone that would be? I've seen people saying like Kotho, like the Furbolg bounty hunter. I don't
Oh
think
yeah.
they're really much of like a fighter. I think they're more of like a bounty hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Jamedi Costco.
Yeah,
Where the
yeah.
hell is
I
he?
was because
Where
we had
Jamedi
talked
Costco?
about maybe that Gemeti has been up here before,
Yeah,
perhaps. Maybe has had dealings with the Tomb Takers back in the day. Maybe. Um, but I feel like they've probably
yeah.
dropped Gemeti and they probably don't either care or even
Yeah.
remember him.
The assassin.
Um,
Oh, the
oh,
assassin.
the Lulth assassin, right?
Yeah. The inevitable
Inevitable end.
end. Yeah.
The inevitable friend is
The
what
inevitable.
is.
Yeah. Interesting.
Kato Geist. Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
That's a good one.
Huh.
I don't know how they would contact her. She's in the abyss.
Oh yeah, that's
Well,
true.
we
That's a
don't know
little
where she
snag.
is, but I assume she's like doing some lol stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
probably.
I can't think of anyone else.
There seem to be all pretty good candidates. Now, whether or not they'll
Yeah,
actually, contact any of them is another
I hope
story.
Alora comes, and I hope she brings Kima.
Oh, that would be so cute.
I
But
love Kima.
yeah, definitely Yusa and Allura are
Yeah,
gonna be the main two that they contact. And I could see Dyron being like a close like third just to bring her
yeah,
up to speed on what's happening. Maybe not necessarily bring her in, but
yeah,
Bo may want to at least talk to her just in case she ends up dying. You never
yeah,
know. So
yeah. Could you? Jeez, that's good. That would suck if
yeah,
Alora dies here.
I don't want to. Oh gosh. Yeah, we bring in Allura and Kima just for one of them to accidentally like die during the battle.
My God, but that's the thing. It wouldn't hurt to have another. Uh, is Alura's a wizard, right? She's not a sorcerer, or is she a sorcerer? I always thought she was a wizard.
Wizard
She might be a
sounds
sorcerer.
correct.
Yeah, but then also like a paladin. Like you've got she's a wizard. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
but then also like a paladin, you've got someone that hits hard, and I think Kima, if I'm correct, has like a holy avenger. Like Kima is
Yeah,
decked out.
yeah.
Um. Yeah, man.
Kima will single-handedly smite Lucian.
Oh
Easy.
my god, please. I wonder what he counts as. Like, is he a creature? Is he a fiend? Is he like something new? Is he an
Certainly acts like a fiend.
like an aberration?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he is turning into like half aberration. Huh.
Big old beholder.
Yeah, that's what he's gonna turn into.
My
Um,
word.
are there any other thoughts, comments, concerns about this episode?
Let's talk about their level ups.
Oh yes, yes. I know someone was also talking about how Yasha can no longer die while she's raging.
Yes, so
That's
she
a
now
thing.
has the feature. It's a rage. What's rage? What's it called? Uh, no, it's a Path of the Zealot feature. It is Rage Beyond Death.
Ooh,
So,
sounds a
beginning
little
at 14th
badass.
level, yep, the divine power that fuels your rage allows you to struggle fatal blows While you're raging, having 0 hit points doesn't knock you unconscious. You still must make death saving throws, and you suffer the normal effects of taking damage while at 0 hit points. However, if you would die due to failing death saving throws, you don't die until your rage ends, and you die only if you still have 0 hit points.
Wow.
So it's like
That's
essentially
terrifying.
you stay up until you like your rage ends, and you haven't been healed, or if you like failed your death saving throws, which is it's
So
like,
now it said that you still take damage and the effects of damage as you normally would. So does that mean like when you take damage, you lose 2 death saving throws?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it still counts. It's still technically you would be doing death saving throws as normal. It's just that you're also still up and can fight.
Gotcha. Okay. That's so cool.
But the interesting thing with that, I think, would be she could cast Healing Hands, because Healing Hands isn't necessarily a spell, so she could do that while raging. So if she goes down, she could just pop herself back up. Like,
that's OP.
Or
oh my
continue fighting and have someone else heal her, because really you want the barbarian to keep fighting. Yeah, so Yasha looking good, and also got a 12 on her hit dice.
So, oh yeah, like 150 something hit points. Ridiculous. And then taking half damage on most things. Oh man.
Yeah. So that's Yasha. Let's have a look. The clerics don't get anything really, except that they can destroy undead up to CR3, which let's have a quick look to see what that includes. This is technical D&D here, guys. I see everyone in the chat talking about it.
Yeah.
We'll get in there. It's fine. We'll talk about it. So if we go to CR3 undead, what that includes is... Oh, there's a lot of stuff. Mummies.
Oh.
They can destroy mummies. Vampiric mist and whites are the most common things that they can now just destroy.
Pretty good.
Straight up. And everything below.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's clerics. They don't really have too much. They don't get any new spell slots, any new spells, anything like that.
Does Caleb get access to...
Oh my god. Caleb... Okay, let's talk about the wizard, because holy crap,
it's
good.
Does he get like special like transmutation stuff this level? Oh boy.
It's really cool. So at 14th level, he gets no new spells or anything like that, but he gets his Master Transmuter. So he can use the magic in his Transmutation Stone to activate an effect. It destroys the stone, but he can get that back after a long rest. But he can choose one of these effects. Major Transformation, you can transmute one non-magical object, no larger than a 5-foot cube, into another non-magical object of similar size and mass, or of equal or lesser value. You must spend 10 minutes handling the object to transform it. So that's like a really cool, like, that's full-on alchemy shit. Like, that's like, I mean, like, alchemist shit, I should say. Like, that's full-on, transmutating something. I can't pronounce this word. Panacea? 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 I don't know. It's some kind of word. But you remove all curses, diseases, and poisons affecting a creature that you touch with the Transmuter Stone. The creature also regains all hit points.
That's going to be useful for Veth.
Oh my god.
Get rid of that curse from the dagger.
It's like full heal.
Yeah.
You can use it to restore life. You cast the Raise Dead spell on a creature you touch without expending a spell slot or needing to have the spell in your spell book. So Caleb essentially has a resurrection handy, if need be, in his pocket. No spell slot required.
Yeah.
That takes off a huge load of pressure from the clerics, to at least know that they don't need to keep that 3rd level handy. It's super exciting. Or there's another feature, it's Restore Youth. It's not as cool, but they can kind of reduce the age of a creature by 3d10 years.
Oh. That's interesting. I just want to pause real quick. Chat, you guys are 99.999% of the time really awesome. Let's keep all potential hate towards players and characters out of the chat. Let's keep this nice and wholesome as we talk about our favorite show, Critical Role. So this will be your one and only warning. If I see any more hate or anything towards any of the characters or any of the players, it will be removed. So just want to throw that out there. Let's continue with the levels.
So that's pretty much the wizard. He gets all those cool like that's like a once a day thing. That's really cool. Our monk, as we said, gets diamond soul. She also gets 25 extra, not 25. She also gets 5 feet of extra movement. 14 key points now, of course. But yeah, the saving throws, proficiency in saving throws, is really cool. Yeah, yeah, like what more do you want? Like that's super powerful.
Yeah.
And
But it's kind of like you were saying, like monks seem to be getting something every single level.
yeah, and it's to combat the lack of spells.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, and it feels like it just feels so like flavorful for Bo, because it just amplifies the idea that she's like grown so much since the beginning of this campaign. Like she just keeps getting more and more power. Like obviously they're all getting more and more powerful, but with Bo, it just feels for me looking at Bo, it just feels like a special case because for me, Bo has seen the most growth this campaign. So her getting these really badass abilities is super cool.
Yeah, it's exciting because like with the proficiencies, yeah, like she has now proficiency, I guess, in death saving throws as well. So she can't roll one. That'll be up to Matt, but the way I see it is like you can't because get your words right, Alana. Normally you don't add anything to a death saving throw. Now she can add her proficiency bonus. So even if she rolls a 1, she gets to add her proficiency. So she doesn't get the effect of rolling a 1 on a death saving throw. So she similarly is going to be really hard to kill. I mean, not only is she quick and evasive, she's got all the saving throws down, and she is harder to die. Like her body wants to stay alive. It's really exciting. Which is it's exciting and scary because now it just opens them up for harder fights.
I know, but just imagine that, because now I'm imagining like thematically and like what like mentally like the mental picture of what that looks like in the heat of a battle. And I think Adam might have sort of talked about this in a comment earlier. The idea of like Bo and Yasha back against the wall, fighting hordes of enemies, you know, taking on the world and stuff, and they're just taking blow after blow and just refusing to go down just because of, you know, the way their class is. But just imagining that, just, you know, pushing through all of the, you know, trials and tribulations that are going to be coming their way is kind of cool to think about. Their tenacity will be showing.
Cool. Our rogue, Miss Feth, she gets blind sense, so she is able to hear and is aware of the location of any hidden or invisible creature within 10 feet of her.
Oh wow.
Kind of simple, but that's really handy. I don't think they often fight things that are hidden or invisible though, but
probably not.
Perhaps we might start to see that. Yeah, but that's really all she gets. I don't think she gets any kind of her stealth attack, sneak attack stays the same, and proficiency is obviously the same. So yeah, that's an easy one for Sam. The interesting one, because that's everyone except for Ford, right?
Oh, that's right, because he has to choose Paladin or Warlock.
So he has 2 choices. He could become a 4th level Paladin, which means it's an ASI, and that's it, which is good. Don't an ASI or a feat. That's really good. The interesting thing is though, 11th level Warlock is way more exciting. If you chose 11th level Warlock, he gets an extra spell slot, an extra pact slot.
Oh, that's big.
It's an extra 5th level spell slot.
Yeah, that's huge.
Invocations stay the same. He learns a new spell, so he can learn a new 5th level spell, and he gets Mystic Arcanum. Ooh. So, it's a spell that he can use without expending a spell slot, which he's already got, but this is just like his 6th level one. So he can choose a 6th level spell from the Warlock spell list, and he can cast it once without expending a spell slot, which is really exciting. Let's have a look at some 6th level Warlock spells.
Yeah, except Warlock spells are so badass.
Yeah, they're pretty brutal.
Yeah.
uh, Arcane Gate. Oh wow,
Oh, that sounds big.
that's excellent. Yeah. Uh, it's like creating teleportation portals.
Oh, jeez.
Um. Oh, why did it? No, it's only 6th level. It showed me all the spells. Like
Take the
armor rack.
warlock and then throw a few in paladin. Yeah, I think I can't remember what the split was, Bethal, because I've read a bunch of like min-maxing theories about warlock and paladin. I don't know what the split ends up being.
Oh, like the ideal split.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah, it's kind of hard because you do need to kind of grind through the first 3 levels of paladin.
Yeah.
Before you start getting the really good stuff of a paladin. But yeah, there are some awesome spells here.
Mm-hmm.
Like Eye Bite is really cool. Mass Suggestion is really cool.
Yeah.
Soul Cage, True Seeing, Summon Fiend. Oh my god.
Oh, you can summon Lucian, maybe?
Yeah, some of these are really. Oh, this is cool. Tasha's Otherworldly Guise. It's a new one from the Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. You can transform yourself. You gain the following benefits until the spell ends for a minute. You are immune to fire and poison damage, or radiant and necrotic. You gain all of these. Holy crap. You're immune to the poison condition or the charmed condition. Like, you need to choose which plane you pull from.
Gotcha.
Spectral wings appear on your back, giving you a flying speed of 40 feet.
Oh.
I know he has fly already, but this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
You have 2+ bonus to AC.
Oof.
All your weapon attacks are magical, and when you make a weapon attack, you can use your spellcasting ability modifier, instead of strength or dexterity for the attack and damage rolls. I think his strength is probably still higher. Yeah. You can attack twice instead of once when you take the attack action on your turn. You ignore this benefit if you already have the feature like extra attack. But I mean, the immunities are really good, and the +2 bonus to AC is really good for that spell. Naturally, it's a concentration spell.
Of course.
You know, what are you going to do? Every cool spell's concentration.
Yeah, pretty much.
I feel like in terms of getting stuff, Warlock's the way to go, but... Yeah,
definitely. Feels like Travis will go Warlock.
Because that, yeah.
Definitely sounds way more interesting than a simple, ASI or potential feat something.
Yeah, the only thing is if he continues on with Paladin at 5th level, he gets extra attack. Oh wait, no, he doesn't already have extra attack, does he? So that spell would be great for that.
No, I thought, no, doesn't he have, like, multiple attack? No, that's just with his Eldritch Blasts.
Yeah, no, he does. 3 blasts, but for his melee attack, I think he just attacks once. No.
No, he attacks twice, I think.
He attacks twice. How does he do that?
Oh, because he's a Hexblade. Is a Hexblade, like, special?
Maybe.
Since it's more of, like, a Martial-esque Warlock. Perhaps. His Thirsting Blade invocation gives him extra attack. Oh, okay.
Gotcha. Cool.
Ford Hasted can do 3 5th-level Divine Smites. Oh
my god.
Imagine if they're all like crits or something, and then Caduceus has like a Path to the Grave enabled on it. Oh my god. Insta-kill Tharizdun.
That's
one-shot Tharizdun.
I think in terms of getting cool stuff, Warlock's the path to continue down.
Yeah.
It's thematically a bit strange, but I think he can pull it with like what he's done.
Yeah.
It is a bit funny that he just got like his oath and everything, and he's still taking Warlock levels. But I think that would be more fun as a player, I think.
Yeah.
Why not just have fun as a player?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went a bit long this episode. What were we gonna say for that last comment?
I was just saying that's all the cool shit they get.
Yeah. I'm really excited to see how they play with the new toys they've got. This podcast definitely went a lot longer than I thought it was going to be, but hey, I don't even care because there is so much that I wanted to talk about this episode because there is so much information and so many discussions that were had that bring up an interesting debate. There's so many different choices they can make. But unless we have any other last minute tinfoil hat theories to throw out there,
all all our stuff so far has been pretty tame, so
Yeah.
I think it's okay.
Yeah. I think we'll probably leave it at that. Yeah, Boyasha date. At this point, I feel like a Boyasha date is like borderlining the tinfoil hat theory. It just doesn't happen.
I think you're right though, that in Nicodranas it makes
Yes.
sense.
Yes. 100%. Every week we've been saying next week it'll be it, next week it'll be it, but now this is it. Next week we will get it.
I want them to hurry. I don't want them to take time, but I want them to take time for Boyasha, but also for like a meet the parents situation of I know Ford has met Marion before, but I want him to go to dinner like meet the parents style of
Oh yeah.
hey mom, I'm bringing my boyfriend over for dinner. Like oh my god.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. Yeah.
Boyasha date is the new Traveler Con. Oh yeah. When we were like, oh yeah, Traveler Con's next week. Oh yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Oh gosh, Yo Tharizdun, how will he get there? There's too many ways Tharizdun is still connected to all of this, Jacob. Pick one thing in this campaign and it's connected to Tharizdun.
Yeah, we can make it work.
Yeah, we would make it work. But I suppose with all that being said, we can go ahead and wrap up. But Alana, before we do that, do you want to tell the folks at home what's coming tomorrow?
Oh my goodness, yes, guys, you should check out Hit Dice Heroes. It is our D&D game that we play with Nico and Kiralee and Maya and Phil on the Hit Dice Heroes Twitch channel. It's a really awesome time. You can check out our Twitter. It's got all the times there of when we stream. These guys have just managed to find, possibly, they haven't committed yet, some pets, which was a choice by me to introduce them. And I completely forgot until like a few days ago when these guys are like, oh, I can't wait to like figure out the animals. I was like, oh shit, that's a thing. Yeah, but it's really exciting. They're in Port Damar at the moment, so it is a game set in the Wildmount campaign guide. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. Come check it out. Say hello. It's pretty easy. I feel like most of our episodes are pretty good to jump in on.
Yeah, they're all. It's always super fun, super chaotic.
Not to say that the plot is like
messed
up. There is a plot, but it's pretty easy to jump in and get to know the characters.
Oh yeah, super easy.
Thank you. just enjoy the. I'm sorry, I'm super distracted.
You're good. Yeah, it's super fun. But then we even have like individual like character videos on the Hit Dice Heroes YouTube channel where you can sort of watch them and sort of get an idea of who the characters are and their personalities and all that stuff. So we have easy ways for you to catch up and be able to just jump right into the story.
Just send me a message and I'll tell you what happened.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Like
that too.
I will talk about it nonstop.
Yeah. And then we obviously do recaps at the start of every episode, so you can kind of, get a sense of what's going on. But yeah, it's super fun. Hope to see you there tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I suppose again, with all that being said, we can go ahead and wrap up. Thank you all so much for joining us this fine day discussing our shared passion in Critical Role. Thank you all so much for tuning in live and chatting with us. And thank you to everyone who's going to be watching this on YouTube when it's uploaded and on Spotify, Anchor, and wherever else this podcast may be available. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic rest of your morning, day, evening, wherever you may be on this wonderful earth. And we will see you all next week. Bye, everyone.